Okay. So as you think about this with this one, and are there any things that you see people, this goes back to where people are over indexing on what AI can do, and they go, oh,
Yeah.
AI can do this, and they're making decisions that you go, that is a mistake.
That's
Do
right.
not
Sure.
turn the keys over to this.
I'll give you some examples. So first of all, math. Gen AI does not do math well. It was not
No, it
trained
does
on
not.
math. Do not ask it to do math. Even in a word problem, it'll give you a very convincing answer that's probably wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
So
very convincing, and going back to, because you feel like you're interacting with a
yes,
human, you are so much more vulnerable to believe it.
no question. So don't believe it. That's the bottom line. Math is wrong. The other thing is, especially Gen AI, but so there's Gen AI and we'll say regular AI. A lot of the AI we built to date before Gen AI was about data analytics, and it was about taking the data and finding certain patterns and bubbling those to the top. In fact, there's a company I'm a bit involved with called Pattern Computer, and they developed a whole different AI model around getting to patterns very, very quickly. Patterns in cancer. So if I can analyze thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands potentially of
radiological scans.
Yeah, radiological scans and breast cancer patients, et cetera. I may be able to find some things, or analyzing potential compounds that could address various cancers, for example, right?
Okay.
So really focused on pulling out of the weeds the top 50 and then, or 40 or 30, and then analyzing those. So again, though, that's AI basically making the best suggestions based on what it learned. Gen AI does the same thing. It's always making the best recommendations based on what it learned. So where people go wrong is where they say, I'm just going to rely on this to be 100% right. So if you're relying on it to be 100% right with no human oversight, it's very hard to get there. Now, there are some tricks that we're using, which is where we use a Gen AI model with something called embeddings. So we're going to pre-embed the prompts with very specific information about, say, your field, okay, whatever that is. And then what we're going to do is check it with other LLMs trained slightly differently.
We're going to use the AI to catch the AI.
And we're going to use the AI to vote whether it thinks the first AI is likely to be right. So now where you get Gen AI that might be right on some areas only 80% of the time, absolutely right. Maybe you can get that to 95%. Now, in all of these ranges, you're probably, especially above 90%, better than humans on the phone. So if you're replacing, I'll give you an example, working with a county government that wants to have Gen AI be essentially the chat bot that responds to any queries about taxes. Okay, fine. But it can't tell the nice little old lady to not pay her taxes. And that would be bad. She doesn't, I listened to it. I didn't, right? So you have to have sort of some guardrails, and you have to have some voting mechanisms to say that answer probably not good. I'm not going to use that answer, right? I'm going to say you need to talk to a human. I'm not sure. It's indeterminate. So those are the things we can do. I think we can use AI to be right 80 or 90% of the time. That's probably as good as the humans were. And then the other times, just be indeterminate and say, I can't determine. I'm not going to give you any answer. Let me hand you off to a human.
Let me escalate this. Let me escalate this to someone who can think through it.
Right. Don't think that the AI by itself is going to be 100% right. It was trained on human knowledge that wasn't 100% right. And the humans, if they were answering the question, wouldn't be 100% right. So 100% is really hard. Even in image recognition, we can do 99.3% in some categories, but it's not 100%. What is 100%? And what are you going to, it's better than humans are by far already. So don't rely on it to be 100% right. And if you absolutely need to be, then you have to have an indeterminate state where I refuse to go to places where I might be wrong.
Okay. Well, it very much aligns with where I see things changing with work and how things go. And again, I've said for a long time, it will affect everyone's job. It's going to affect your job. It's going to change the way you do things. But whether it changes it for the better or the worse is largely in your hands in many regards right now. And I think even going back to your marketing example, if you're the marketing person and all you do is crank out marketing articles, and now you go, well, now I'm cranking out 40 a week instead of 1 a week. and you don't use that additional capacity to go, what more could I be solving? Going back to what we said very early
Right.
on, going, there are so many other problems we could be solving. If you just sit there and go, well, now I'm just going to crank out more articles, and you never expand your capability, at some point, someone's going to go, we can just have the AI model just take care of this for us. And you are at risk, but it doesn't have to be that way.